Welcome back to Unleashed Wrestling. We're just a mere few hours away from the Royal Rumble, and we're going to go over a lot of the things in the matches. But before we get to that, of course, I'm TJ.
And I'm Yorkie. And we're going to be talking about everything that's going to be happening tonight during the Royal Rumble, or what we think is going to be happening anyway, because this is a prediction show.
Lots of spoilers or potential spoilers coming ahead. So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, I would fast forward through this part of the video. But before we get into the men and women's Royal Rumble match, Yorkie, let's go ahead and get the I'm not gonna say the undercard match, but it kind of is. Let's go ahead and get the men's tag team title match out of the way, so we have more time to discuss the two big. With there's really three big matches, but you got
Big-ish.
DIY versus right. You got DIY defending their tag team titles against Motor City Machine Guns, and I'll tell you what. I've always been a fan of the Machine Guns when they're in TNA. When I saw them come over to the WWE, thought it was 5 years too late. But they're
For
still. I
sure.
mean, they're not their prime anymore, but they still got it. Like they can
They
still put
really
on a
do.
heck of a match.
And they still give off that pop whenever they show up. So it's like,
Absolutely.
I mean, I think they're going to take the belts. I really do.
You know, I was leaning towards them taking it, but I think that DIY is going to retain, and here's why I say that. They're building towards a program between DIY and Pretty Deadly. It's pretty obvious if you watched SmackDown last night. Now you may be right. The Machine Guns may retain, and they may carry the titles into Mania. But I could also see like maybe like a three-way tag team match between DIY, Pretty Deadly, and Motor at WrestleMania for the title. So it could be built towards that. I don't know. What do you think about all this?
It's one of those things where it's not even that exciting of a tag title run at all. Like, there's really not much going on in that aspect, storyline
Yeah.
wise. It's just like they kind of have these matches out there.
It's a two out of three falls match. I'm pretty sure that Machine Guns are going to get the first fall, and then it's going to go three falls. And most of the time, these two out of three falls matches go three falls. Is DIY going to retain, or is Motor City Machine Guns going to regain their tag team titles? You've already given your prediction about the Machine Guns. I'm leaning towards DIY retaining. I don't think this match will open the show because you always want your opener and your closer to be strong matches. So I don't think this will probably be the second match on the card. Probably a 15 to 20 minute match. I know that doesn't sound very long for a two out of three falls, but you got the two Rumble matches you got to make room for.
Right.
And these two Rumble matches are going to be pretty daggum exciting if you want to be
Oh yeah.
honest.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of potential entrance into this week's Rumble match.
So the main event could possibly be Cody versus Kevin Owens, or it's going to be the men's Royal Rumble. One of the two, because those seem like the two biggest matches.
Right.
I didn't get a chance to watch the segment last night with Cody and Kevin, so I'm not really sure what happened, unfortunately.
There wasn't a segment between Cody and
But
Kevin. It was Kevin and CM Punk.
really,
See, yeah,
I need to.
it
I need,
opened up with Kevin Owens coming out and trying to talk his piece since he didn't get a chance to or whatever.
on Raw, yeah.
And
He just attacked Cody.
and Tessator was out there, and then he was trying to speak his piece, and then the belts were hanging low, and he decided, you know what, my belt's not going to hang. I'm going to take it with me. So he grabbed it and took
Oh,
and
nice.
started to leave the ring. And then the next thing you know, all you hear is CM Punk's music hit, and the
That place probably
place
came
went
unglued.
wild. He came out and pretty much they cut a promo. Well, CM Punk cut a promo. Let's be honest here. Kevin Owens doesn't stand a chance against CM Punk when it comes to mic
No,
work.
there's only a few people on the roster now that could compare with CM Punk on the mic, and I think the Miz is one of them. He's a great talker.
Yeah, and
Or it's
basically,
John Cena.
which basically CM Punk was like, "Look, I don't like you. You don't like me. Yada yada yada. I like Cody, and I would come after him. So what makes you think I wouldn't come after you if you want it, or so something to that lines?" And it was just like, damn, You're gonna go
Yeah.
that route with it.
No, and I'm glad you mentioned that about Kevin Owens because one thing I've noticed, all right, Monday, it was Punk and Cody in the ring. Now it's Punk and Owens. I think they're hinting to future rivals or rivalries or feuds with Punk and Cody and with Punk and Kevin Owens because I mean Punk and Kevin Owens go back to Ring of Honor when CM Punk said something to Kevin Owens about wrestling in a t-shirt. Do you think whoever wins this match, they're going to unify the titles and kind of come out with a new design?
I think they already have the new design out, and they're just going to
Yeah.
use the updated Winged Eagle and get rid of the current look. That's just
I
my
don't know that.
opinion.
Even if it's a modified winged eagle, like the one that
Well,
when Steve Austin when
the
he
one they
won the
have now, it's pretty modified.
yeah, it's not the original. It's pretty close, but the winged eagle, Stone Cold Steve Austin won that title from Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. The very next night on Raw, Vince had a new title that was like the updated winged eagle. If y'all don't know that, you need to go back and look at the difference. There's a little difference. I think the eagle's smaller. Um, it was still a good looking championship. The last good title that they had was the undisputed championship that JBL had. What's your predictions on this match? I've heard rumors they might actually let Kevin Owens win. I don't see it happening. I think they're going to let Cody carry the belt into Mania. But I don't know. What's your take on this?
Storyline wise, they're carrying Cody into Mania. Um, unless they again curveball us and Kevin Owens does somehow, some way. But I think if that does happen, it'll be due to an interference, and then there will be a storyline as to, hey, this wasn't a legit win. I want my rematch, and he gets his rematch before Mania,
Mm-hmm.
and Cody wins it back or something. Like the rematch happens. Let's say the rematch happens at Elimination Chamber,
Yeah.
or like the go home show, which would be really funny, is to do the go home show before the go home Raw before Mania. Cody wins it back at the last minute.
I'm glad you mentioned something about the interference because I was thinking about this. If Kevin Owens were to win the title, I think it would be because Sami Zayn comes out and goes to deliver a hell of a kick to Kevin Owens, but he misses and hits Cody again. And then Kevin Owens takes advantage of it. And then come to find out after the match, it was all a setup and Sami turns heel. That's not going to happen. I think Cody's going to retain. I think he's going to go in the Mania, and I think they're pushing for Cody versus insert Rumble winner or Cody versus insert Chamber winner. So my pick is Cody Rhodes.
My pick is also Cody Rhodes, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Kevin.
The women's Rumble match, Yorkie. I mentioned to you before the show, and I forgot where I saw it. But there are only 10 confirmed names as of yesterday afternoon of women who are in the Rumble. I'm sure we know there's going to be more, obviously, but that just leaves it open for more surprise returns or debuts. Of course, it's already confirmed that Charlotte Flair is making her return tonight. Um, she's going to dominate most of the match, if not win it. We'll pick our winner here shortly. Um, there's also rumors of a few other women returns or debuts. One debut that's probably more likely going to happen is Jordan Grace coming from TNA. She's already signed a contract with WWE.
Jordan Grace is a hell of a talent.
It is.
I've, you know, to see her transition from when she started to where she is now, oh my gosh. Like, even when she
Mm-hmm.
started, she was amazing. But now, dude, she is a monster.
The future's bright for her, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they use her tonight in the Rumble. If she's going to stay in long, I mean, if she's an early entrant, I could see her being in, midway through the match, maybe towards the end. And she's not going to be in the final four, but
No.
she's going to get a good showing. She'll get a good showing for
She'll
sure.
get a good push. Be like, okay, so she's probably going to be on roster.
A few legends that have been rumored to make an appearance tonight are Lita and Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus more than Lita. I've heard Lita's name mentioned a few times. That she came back. She was injured when she was the whole Zoe Starks and Trish Stratus thing, and then um, she ended up writing her off the show. So one and done appearance, maybe. I don't know if she's going to come back. I think she's got a Legends deal. Her and Trish both have a Legends deal, so they can come back whenever they really want to, or if WWE needs them. They don't really need them now. I mean, the women's roster is pretty stacked, but it's about to get a whole lot better. There's a few more names on here that we haven't talked about yet. Becky Lynch is another one that's rumored to return tonight. Not a big fan of Becky Lynch. I was a huge fan of her when she was the whole Becky Two Belts thing, when she's the underdog. But now it's kind of okay. We've seen the same old story with Becky Lynch. Let's see something different.
I mean, that might be what comes is something completely different. Like we get a whole new
Yep.
style, a whole new look. Like it'd be really, it'd be really awesome is if she kind of does something similar to what Seth does, and they're both
Yes.
flashy and they come out together and just that power couple, kind of like Miz and Maurice, but 10 times better. Like,
Yep.
you know what I
You're
mean?
mentioning
Like,
yeah, yeah. You're talking about power couples, and there's another name we're going to mention here in just a minute that I could see in a fantastic feud.
so, and there's another, you know, talks of somebody else finally coming back after 3-ish years of being on a hiatus
It's
when all she was
been a
supposed to be
while.
gone for was a pregnancy, and it just turned into so much more.
Yep.
I think she had like injuries and stuff that she was taking care of
It,
during the pregnant, like while the pregnancy was going on and the rehab and everything, and
mhm.
she just wanted to make sure she was good to go. And obviously having the few, I guess couple years with her kid before she had to go back on the road or whatever, which I get, I completely get. But that's Alexa Bliss, and I am ready to hear that music drop again.
So from what I've been hearing about the whole Alexa Bliss thing is they're miles apart on a contract as far as negotiations, but I don't believe that one bit. I think it's a swerve. I think they're trying to do similarly what they did with CM Punk when he came back is oh well he's not going to be at Survivor Series and all of a sudden he shows up and the place goes freaking nuts.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a similar situation with Alexa Bliss. Here's the question I have for you: does she come back as Alexa Bliss, or does she come back and join the Wyatt Six?
I think they're gonna do a whole new thing with her. I know she ended with the Wyatt Six, and she was really close with Bray and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I would love to see her in the Wyatt Six, but I think it's gonna be back to the punk rocker, you know, skater girl,
Like in the early days.
her early days. I think it's
Yeah,
going to go kind of
yeah,
back to that style, or she's going to go completely different and just completely curveball us with a whole entire new persona.
yeah. See, she's got that talent that Chris Jericho has about as far as revamping your character. Jericho has always been good about revamping his character. Alexa Bliss is the same way. She can be creative. Say, you know what, this isn't working. Now we're going to do this, and it gets over. So I'm excited to see what they do with her, how they use her. Um, she could be a potential dark horse. But we'll talk about that again. Talk about that again here in a minute. Um, and of course, the biggest name that I have been hearing about making a return is AJ Lee. There were rumors last year that she was going to come back, and she didn't. There's rumors again this year, but there's a lot of smoke around her this year. A lot of smoke. I feel like it's coming. I mean, I'm not going to get my hopes up too much because I don't want to be disappointed. But man, did they hear her music hit at number 30 and to come down? That place would
Oh,
go
dude,
nuts.
you have no idea. And like, if her music does hit, watch her come in and win the damn thing.
And I'm completely fine with that.
I am too. Like
Could you,
that. Oh
could
my
you,
gosh. Just
could you imagine AJ Lee versus Rhea Ripley?
oh. Mm.
You talk about a mania match
Whew,
for sure.
that would be a good one. Um, but no, like I think, and all this started with her making her appearance on the show Heels
Yep. So she
because
stays in shape because of that.
she made an appearance there. She was taking bumps while doing that. Um, So she's
Mhm.
technically cleared from what I've heard, but I don't know if she's ready. Like that this is all on her being ready, not her being cleared to be able to do it. Um
Yeah, and I think Triple H and Tony Khan already have a contract ready for her whenever she wants to come back. And Punk has hinted towards it a couple of times during his promos. And you mentioned earlier about Rollins and Becky Lynch being a power couple. AJ Lee comes back, it could be CM Punk and AJ Lee. Maybe like reform the
ooh,
Nexus or the Straight Edge Society.
like imagine okay, so we say Becky Lynch comes back, AJ Lee comes back,
Mm.
do the power couple thing. Power couple
Yeah.
versus power couple.
Another name that could be potentially making a debut is Roxanne Perez. I hear she's getting called up. It's pretty obvious. She's got a few going with Bailey. She'll probably be in the Rumble tonight. Um, there's a few other names that are mentioned. A few Japanese wrestlers from New Japan. Another big name is Asuka.
Yeah, because she
I heard
has
she's
been on
cleared.
a yeah, she's cleared, ready to
Mm-hmm.
go, and you know I'm not ready to see a belt on Asuka, so I don't think she would win it if she does come back.
No, I don't either. Who is your Iron Woman match? Who's going to last the longest in this Rumble?
Hmm. So it's kind of hard to tell, you know, because we obviously don't know um, the order or anything. So just because
Mm-hmm.
this is just like a straight up shot in the dark prediction for either of us. Mine personally, knowing that they're coming back, would probably be Charlotte Flair, just because they always do that with her when she returns.
Mm-hmm.
A potential second would be, probably Liv.
My pick is going to be Io Sky. I
I
think
don't.
she comes out number one or number two.
I don't think she has a long run though.
Who's going to have the most eliminations tonight?
The most eliminations tonight for me, I'm
Yeah.
going to have to go with Bailey or Nia Jax.
I'm going to go with Charlotte Flair. I think she comes out early, and they're going to build her up to be dominant because she's been gone for so long. Which is Charlotte Flair. She can go in there and eliminate one person, and everybody's going to go crazy. But yeah, I think she gets the most eliminations tonight.
Who has
Like,
the move where they get thrown over the ropes, but they don't hit the ground. They come back in.
I think Bianca's done that a couple times. I think she landed on the barrier or something, so she could be one that could do that.
Rhea's done it, but she's
Um,
not in it. She did the whole hanging from the
maybe,
ropes and then flip back over and
yeah,
threw out Liv.
maybe a Lyra Valkyria,
I could see Lyra because she is that
possibly.
agile.
Yep. Um, maybe she just got moved to SmackDown, but maybe Zelina Vega. She's
Yeah.
got athleticism for it. It was gonna. I'm not gonna say it's gonna have to be a high flyer, but the high flyers are typically the ones who do those spots.
Right.
So somebody like that is who I'm gonna pick to do that.
I agree. I agree. For me, it probably would be. Hmm. I would probably have to go with a Zelina or a Bianca again, just
Mm-hmm.
because their athleticism and actually, it could be something like a spot where Liv gets thrown over, but Raquel's already out. Raquel catches her, puts her back in. So I might go
Yeah,
that route.
yeah.
So I might go
It's a good
Liv.
pick. It's a good pick. Who are your final four in the women's match?
Final four in the women's: Liv, Bailey, Charlotte. If AJ Lee returns, AJ Lee will be in the final four.
My final four is gonna be Charlotte Flair,
Mm-hmm.
Liv Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
She's still on this big run. If she returns AJ Lee, and I think they're trying to push EO again. I don't think she's going to win it, but I think EO Sky will be in the final four.
Okay, so our only difference is Bailey and Io Sky.
Yep. And the reason why I'm not saying Bianca Belair is because Jade Cargill may make an appearance tonight. If she does, there's potential that Bianca and Naomi are the ones who attack Jade backstage, and she'll eliminate both of them.
That's exactly why I didn't pick Bianca myself.
Yep. In fact,
Because
I
Jade
could,
Cargill.
yeah, and I could change it and say Charlotte, Liv, AJ if she returns, and Jade Cargill.
Yeah, that could
Is
be a good
this
one.
one? This one to me is a little bit harder to predict the final four than the men's rumble, but the men's rumble is harder to predict the winner.
Yes. Who's my
Who
winner?
wins the rumble tonight?
Ooh.
Yep.
If AJ Lee returns, AJ Lee, but I'm gonna be safe and say a second option and say Bailey.
I'm going with the obvious choice because there's just so much smoke around her, and that's going to be Charlotte Flair. And then we have the men's Royal Rumble match. This match is probably the most anticipated match ever as far as a men's Rumble match. This has probably been the most stacked lineup that I have ever seen, even
Oh,
in the
for
Attitude Era.
sure.
There are so many potential winners in this thing. Um, but before we get into our predictions as far as the winners, Iron Man, etc., there are some names that have been rumored to make returns tonight as well.
There's also some names that
Yorkie,
I have that I haven't even told you about.
exactly. Yorkie, you mentioned one the other day on a Raw show.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
I'm gonna sign you to a record deal. You're a great singer.
But it's Joe
Joe
Hendry.
Hendry.
Yeah,
Joe
you
Hendry will
can't
be in the
not
Rumble.
sing it though. You know what I mean? Like that's just one of those.
I know. I agree. I agree. One name that's been mentioned that could be making a return tonight. He is the king of the Indies right now. He is dominating the indie scene, and that is Matt Cardona. Of all the people who've left and gone to the Indies, he's probably made the biggest impact. Completely revamped his character, and if he comes back, he will be in the title picture very, very quickly.
Oh, for sure. He's always another one who's always had good talent, just underused.
Misused as Vince don't know what he's doing.
That's why he's not. Yeah. Some names that I've heard. One of them may be coming over from a competing company who is not tied into the WWE, and that is Malachi Black, which will probably come back as Aleister Black.
Yeah, I think Malachi Black or Aleister Black could potentially do it. I just don't know if legally he can. That's the biggest holdup. If anybody could pull strings and get that worked out, it would be Triple H and Tony Khan. So
Yeah, and I think Triple H would probably be more able to talk to Tony in that sense and kind of get through to him because it's not that I know everything about wrestling. I'm the only one that can be, I'm the only one that can have a company that's good. If you
right, and
don't
it's not
know
like
who I'm,
he's
if y'all don't know who I'm referring to, that's Vincent McMahon.
right, and it's not like he's making money off of Aleister Black anymore. He's
Right.
other than maybe merchandise sales, but he's pretty much done with them. So right.
So this next one, I've heard rumors that this person is going to be coming back and try to do one more run. Or it could just be for the simple fact so that they could have a match with somebody who is retiring. I don't know yet. But that is the house that AJ Styles built.
I'd love to see it. I mean, honestly, I would love to see AJ Styles come back because I know he's not renewing another contract when this one's up. He's retiring, and I want to see him have one more title run.
or at least
honestly.
one more chance to have a title run, and that's if somebody
Mm-hmm.
else later down the road gets a title and defends it, and it would be defended against this person, and then AJ could potentially carry a title into next year.
Yeah, I could see that. He was on my list, but I was actually going to put him up under AJ Lee. Another return that I'm just personally hoping to see is Big E.
Yes.
WWE, WWE teased us with him a few months back when the New Day turned heel. They say he's not cleared. Here's the thing: I don't think they would have used Big E in that role if they didn't plan on doing something with that storyline in the future. Is he technically cleared? I don't know. Maybe he's not cleared yet, or maybe he's just on the verge of being cleared. But I think maybe he has been cleared. They're keeping it extremely secretive, and he's going to make an appearance tonight.
With him making an appearance, obviously it'll be when Kofi and Xavier are in the ring during this Rumble. And to see Big E come out and get in that ring and to see them two standing on one side and Big E standing on the other side and they just have a stare down in the middle of the ring would be
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
It would be.
Now
You know
I
what
don't
I
I
think?
don't know what would come of it, and whatever would come of it, either it be those two team up and somehow somebody manage to get him over,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. I don't know.
So I mentioned this to you a couple weeks ago, and I mentioned it on our show that I was going to talk about this. I could see Big E coming down to the ring. Xavier or Kofi are in the ring. Kofi gets knocked out as Big E is walking up, like around the ring to get to the steps. Kofi falls into Big E's arms and does one of his big saves like he usually does every Rumble. And they look at each other, and Kofi smiles. Big E looks at him and smiles, and then drops him on the floor. And then gets in the ring and eliminates Xavier Woods. Who's your Iron Man?
Iron Man. It's between one of three people: Drew, Seth, CM Punk.
Okay.
If I had to pick between those three, it would probably be Seth.
If he's gonna be the winner, I see it being John Cena. To build it up even more, he actually lasted 29 other guys. If he's a first entrant and he's gonna be the winner, I can see them making it Cena. I think Seth Rollins would be a good pick for Iron Man because he's definitely got the stamina to do it. Um, I don't know about Drew. I think Drew's gonna be one of those mid to late entries. Got to use him to help clear the ring out.
Right.
So I'm gonna go Seth. Seth to be the Iron Man. Who's I'm gonna pick?
Seth. Okay. So we're on the same page there.
Most eliminations.
Most eliminations. It'd be a big man, like a Bronson Reed or
Ooh, yeah, he could come back.
or someone of that stature, like a Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre. They could take out 3 or 4 at once, and then have help taking out some more. But if I had to pick one, and he does come back, it would probably be Bronson Reed.
I'm gonna go with a little bit of a dark horse. Not to win the Rumble, but people haven't been talking about this person too much, and that's Jacob Fatu.
I didn't even think about that.
Who's your final four?
Well, it's changed now. um, Seth, CM Punk, Cena, Reigns.
I'm going Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, and John Cena. And see, to me, there's 4 or 5 people who could legitimately win this thing.
Yeah. 6 or 7,
So,
actually.
with that, yeah. With that being said, who is your winner? Who do you pick?
from the first show that we did to now, my winner has changed 3 times.
Really?
First show was going to be John Cena. He's going to get his 17th. He's going to beat Flair. He's, that's the story that it needs to be. He carries the title into the end. That was the first show. And we got to see a little bit more of what's going to be coming, with everything starting to get into the road to WrestleMania and all that good stuff. So I was thinking, well, maybe it could be Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
And then Monday and Friday happened. I think it's going to be the son of an electrician from Chicago, CM Punk.
My pick hasn't really changed, although there are a couple of times I almost did. You mentioned Cena. The first show you thought was going to be Cena. I never thought it was going to be Cena, and here's why I say that. They are heavily promoting him for the Elimination Chamber. So if he's going to win the Rumble, then there's really no point of him being in the Chamber match. Based off of what we saw Monday, based off of what we saw Friday, and the way he's just been dominant right now, I'm going with CM Punk as well. It's his year. Well, there you go, guys. That is our predictions for the Royal Rumble. Our winners, our Iron Man, our Final Four. Let us know if we got it right in the comments below. Y'all make sure you like this video and subscribe. And if you're going to watch Rumble tonight, make sure you put down there below who you think is going to win it.
All the matches.
Yeah, every match. Make sure you let us know. So, with that being said, we will catch everybody in the next one.
Peace. Yeet.